The egg story, one of the most famous stories associated with Columbus, is the egg story. According to the story, during a dinner party, someone challenged Columbus to make an egg stand on its tip. Columbus, after unsuccessfully attempting to balance the egg on its end, cracked the shell slightly and stood it up. When the other guests protested that they could have done the same, Columbus replied, "Yes, but I was the first to think of it." The story is often cited as an example of Columbus' creative thinking and determination. The voyage, Columbus set sail from Spain on August 3, 1492, with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. After a long and difficult voyage, Columbus and his crew finally reached land on October 12, 1492, in what is now known as the Bahamas. Columbus believed that he had reached the East Indies, but he had actually discovered a new continent. The treatment of natives, Columbus and his crew encountered many native people during their voyage, and their treatment of these people has been the subject of controversy. Columbus and his crew often enslaved the native people they encountered and treated them brutally. Columbus also introduced diseases to the native population that they had no immunity to, which caused many deaths. Columbus' legacy, despite his controversial treatment of native people, Columbus' voyage is still celebrated as a major event in world history. Columbus is often credited with discovering America, although he never actually set foot on what is now the United States. Columbus Day is celebrated in many parts of the world, including the United States, although some people have called for the holiday to be replaced with Indigenous Peoples Day to honor the native people who were harmed by Columbus' actions. The history of England spans thousands of years, from the earliest inhabitants of the British Isles to the modern-day United Kingdom. Here is a brief overview of the major periods and events in English history. Prehistory and Roman occupation, the British Isles were inhabited by various tribes and cultures for thousands of years before the arrival of the Romans in 43 AD. The Romans occupied England for several centuries, leaving behind a legacy of roads, buildings, and culture. Anglo-Saxon England. After the collapse of the Roman Empire, various Germanic tribes, including the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, invaded and settled in England. They established several kingdoms, including Mercia, Northumbria, and Wessex. Norman conquest and Middle Ages. In 1066, William the Conqueror invaded England and defeated the Anglo-Saxon king Harold Godwin's son at the Battle of Hastings. The Norman conquest marked the beginning of a new era in English history, with the Normans bringing their own language, culture, and laws. The Middle Ages saw the development of feudalism, the rise of the church, and the growth of towns and trade. Tudor England. The Tudor dynasty, which lasted from 1485 to 1603, was marked by the reigns of Henry VII, Henry VIII, Edward VI, Mary I, and Elizabeth I. The Tudors oversaw the Reformation, the establishment of the Church of England, and the colonization of the New World. Civil War and Restoration. The 17th century was a turbulent period in English history, with the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, resulting in the execution of King Charles I and the establishment of a republic, the Commonwealth of England. The monarchy was restored in 1660 with the coronation of Charles II. Industrial Revolution and Empire. The 18th and 19th centuries saw the development of the Industrial Revolution, which transformed England from an agricultural society to an industrial powerhouse. England also expanded its empire, colonizing much of the world and establishing itself as a dominant global power. Modern England. The 20th century saw England fight in 2 world wars and experience significant social and political changes, including the establishment of a welfare state, the decline of the British Empire, and the rise of a multicultural society. Today, England is part of the United Kingdom, a constitutional monarchy with a rich history and culture.